Welcome to WFM's 3 p.m. News. I am your presenter, Narissa Bostwick. On the local scene, the United Nations Human Rights Office of the High Commissioner, in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Consumer Affairs, and the UK government, hosted a two-day capacity building workshop from March 26th to 27th at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The workshop aimed to improve human rights standards and facilitate the implementation of recommendations received under the various United Nations human rights treaties to which the state is a party. The workshop convened representatives from key government agencies, forming part of the cabinet-mandated National Human Rights Implementation and Reporting Mechanism, alongside civil society organizations working on human rights and related issues. Addressing the workshop's opening, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Consumer Affairs, Honorable Frederick Stevenson, reaffirmed the government's commitment to human rights implementation and reporting. Meanwhile, His Excellency Geoffrey Payton, resident British Commissioner, reiterated the UK government's dedication to promoting human rights globally, including within the Caribbean. He highlighted the UK's support for capacity building, strengthening civil society, and initiatives on disability rights, gender equality, and climate resilience, designed to create an enabling environment for the realization of human rights and tangible improvements for Vincentians. The official viewing for former Member of Parliament for South Central Windward, Mr. Alan Cruikshank, who passed away on March 1st, 2025, will take place tomorrow, April 3rd, at the temporary Parliament building at Kalyoquah. Officials and dignitaries will be invited to the viewing from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Viewing for the general public will be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. The funeral service is scheduled to take place on Sunday, April 6th, at the New Grounds Primary School grounds, commencing at 1 p.m. This will be preceded by viewing and the tributes at the school from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Interment will be at the Sans Souci Cemetery. As a mark of respect, all flags throughout the state will be flown at half-mast on Sunday, April 6th. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment advises the public that visitation at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center has resumed. This follows a temporary suspension implemented in early March as a precautionary measure against the spread of a gastroenteritis-type illness among the staff and the patients suspected to be norovirus. To ensure the continued safety of patients, staff, and visitors, strict health protocols will continue to be enforced. These include, but are not limited to, the following. Visitors who display signs and symptoms of infectious diseases will not be allowed to enter the facility. Mandatory hand hygiene before and during visits at the facility. Restricted time spent during visitation to minimize exposure risk. The Ministry of Health urges all visitors to comply with these measures to protect the well-being of staff and the many vulnerable individuals at the facility. Anyone experiencing symptoms of vomiting and/or diarrhea is asked to refrain from visiting the facility until fully recovered. The Health Ministry says it will continue to monitor the situation closely and update the public accordingly. In original news, the new US $6.9 million College of Medical Sciences building at the University of Guyana was commissioned on Monday by President Irfan Ali. With funding from the Government of Guyana and the World Bank, the facility includes a 200-capacity lecture theater and several science and research laboratories. According to News Source Guyana, President Ali said the multi-million-dollar project was conceptualized in 2013. However, it was not until 2017 that the project loan agreement with the World Bank was signed. Though the agreement was in place, the project faced a number of delays that were attributed in part to the COVID-19 pandemic. In November 2023, the sod was turned for the new building, triggering the start of construction. He challenged students of the College of Medical Sciences to capitalize on the high level of resources available within the institute to champion research and to better position the University of Guyana on the international stage. Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Dr. Paloma Mohamed, said the project is the culmination of decades of needs filled. The Working People's Alliance, WPA, has called on the two major parties in the coalition, a Partnership for National Unity, APNU, in Guyana, to put aside their differences and unite ahead of the regional and general elections later this year. WPA co-leader David Hines told reporters that time is of the essence. As the PPP's ruling People's Progressive Party vulnerability begins to manifest itself, the WPA reiterates its belief that a grand coalition of opposition parties stands the best chance of unseating the ruling cabal in a free and fair election, Hines said. He said a coalition of the willing, guided by a united purpose and intent, would no doubt energize the opposition's base, as he emphasized the importance of the two sides reaching a consensus. Earlier this week, the leaders of the two main parties in the opposition coalition met in a bid to resolve their differences surrounding the presidential candidate for the upcoming elections. Earlier, the Alliance for Change, AFC, in a statement said it will accept a 60-40 split at all levels of government if the coalition forms the next government. In news on the international scene, Myanmar's military has announced a temporary ceasefire to speed up relief and reconstruction efforts following last week's devastating earthquake. In a statement, the ruling Junta's State Administration Council said the deal would be in effect from April 2nd to 22nd. Earlier this week, rebel groups fighting the military unilaterally declared a ceasefire to support relief efforts. The military had refused to do the same until today's announcement. At least 2,886 people are known to have been killed after the magnitude 7.7 earthquake struck last Friday. Hundreds of people are still missing. And finally in the news at this hour, Wisconsin voters have elected a Democratic-backed judge to serve on the state Supreme Court, according to projections, following the most expensive judicial election in U.S. history. Susan Crawford is on course to beat conservative rival Brad Schimmel, which would keep intact the 4-3 liberal control of the Midwestern state's highest court. President Donald Trump's billionaire advisor, Elon Musk, was a prominent fundraiser in the campaign and was the subject of Democratic attack ads. More than $100 million was spent by the candidates and their allies, including $20 million by Musk. The result is expected to have far-reaching implications, potentially even affecting the balance of power in the U.S. Congress. This has been WFM's 3 p.m. News. I have been your presenter, Narissa Bostwick. Our next newscast will be brought to you at 5:30 p.m. Be sure to join us then.